on the Lobo Sports Network. Lobo Basketball has been brought to you by New Mexico State Parks Boating and Safety. Be safe on the water. Lobos wear life jackets. PNM. Talk to us at pnm.com. Also brought to you by Route 66 Casino Hotel. Quality service and value. Get your kicks. This is the Lobo Postgame Show. Once again, Robert Portnoy.
New Mexico knocks off Air Force in its Mountain West Conference opener. 7 consecutive Mountain West openers in the win column for the Lobos. Final score here tonight at Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit, 87-58. You're locked into the Lobo Basketball Postgame Show as UNM wins its 3rd consecutive game. The Lobos improved to 6-8. They drop Air Force under 500 to 6-7. UNM 1-0 to start league play. Air Force at 0-1. Tonight, the Lobos had 4 Everguard Solar and Everguard Roofing Slam Dunks. That means $40 at $10 per dunk to All Faith. All Faith serves over 2,500 children and their families every year by teaching them how to prevent abuse and guiding them as they recover from it. Help us give children back their childhood. Learn more by visiting allfaiths.org. 2 of those dunks, well, in the end, it was 3. 3 out of the 4 of those dunks were highlight reel variety for Ja'Kai Simmons. Simmons stole a ball, dunked in transition. He stole a ball, gave it up, got it back, and dunked again. And then that beautiful lob at the end from Anthony Jackson. Just a little glance, as Hunter Green pointed out, and he broke back door and flushed it. It was a thing of beauty. So that's $40 at $10 per dunk. Everguard Solar and Everguard Roofing Slam Dunks to All Face. By the way, Ja'Kai Simmons, those dunks and the three-point shots, Simmons was en route to a career-high 15 points tonight and a career-best 3 made threes. Okay, we pause. 87-58, Lobos a winner over Air Force. It's Lobo Basketball from Learfield. Welcome back inside Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit. The Lobos defeat Air Force 87-58 is the final as you are dialed into the Lobo Basketball post-game show. You know, Bank of the West continues its commitment as the Lobo three-point basket sponsor, and after every game, they donate to Special Olympics of New Mexico. For more than 20 years now, Bank of the West has contributed, and it's over $100,000 to Special Olympics of New Mexico as part of its proud commitment to Lobo athletics. And my broadcast partner is Hunter Green. I'm Robert Portnoy. Hunter, you noted just how hot New Mexico got from three-point land in the second half, and in the end, they booked 14 of those threes. That's $140 tonight. From Everguard Roofing and on the three-point basket sponsor from Bank of the West. Bank of the West is the three-point basket sponsor, and that goes to Special Olympics of New Mexico. And most of those came in the second half. New Mexico was 10 out of 16 in the second half. How did they get the open looks?
Well, I just think they started knocking them down. They had open looks in the first half. I mean, Air Force, this really wasn't a typical Air Force team in my mind. I mean, they weren't as strong as Air Force teams in the past in terms of defense and even offense. I mean, they didn't run shot clock. They ran it. I mean, they were shooting the ball in the 15, 16 seconds within the shot clock. So this, New Mexico just finally started knocking them down in the second half.
And Air Force did not appear to have the knockdown shooters that they seem to typically bring that three-point arc with.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, time for us to take a timeout on the Lobo Basketball post-game show. Lobos 87, Air Force 58 is the final. More to come from Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit. Don't go away. Lobo Basketball from Learfield. Back on the Lobo Basketball post-game show, live from Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit. New Mexico rolls over Air Force. Final score, Lobos 87, Air Force 58. Okay, it is time to get to our State Farm Insurance assist of the game. And the guy who had the most tonight for New Mexico was Anthony Jackson. And when teams help each other out, great plays happen like this. Anthony Jackson on ball. Running clock. Backdoor lob to Simmons, who hammers. Oh, what a find and what a flush. So Anthony Jackson to Ja'Kai Simmons for the lob dunk. That is your State Farm Insurance assist of the game. Presented by State Farm. Get an agent that gets you State Farm Insurance. Hunter, how does that work? That's the Lobos are just running clock, right, and Anthony is yo-yoing at the top of the circle, and the game's over basically. That's two guys making a play. How does that happen on the court?
No, it's just eye contact. Jackson looks at Simmons, and they just kind of look up at the rim, and man, that's what playing together, time together. That's what it gives you, those type of things, and that we could see that's obvious. But there's other plays on the court where guys just kind of look at each other and knows, look, I'm going to go, pass me the ball, I'm going to head to the rim or whatever. Those are the type of plays that take time on the court in practice to develop.
Well, Anthony Jackson was spectacular here tonight, and Ant just missed the 10 assists required for what would have been his first career double-double. Did have a 10-assist game earlier in this season, but that day only had 2 points. Tonight had the opportunity. They just ran out of time, and the Lobos, the last possession up, could have been a situation where Ant could have dealt for another bucket, but with the shot clock off, the Lobos held the ball, ran out the clock. Anthony Jackson finishes up tonight with 10 points and 9 assists, just missing his first career double-double. Lobos 87, Air Force Falcons 58 is the final. We're going to step aside in the Lobo basketball post-game show from Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit. Still to come, the post-game coaches' comments with Lobo head coach Paul Weir. Last to do, also our PNM Reliable Player of the Game and Subway Sub of the Game. We pause. Lobos 87, Air Force 58 final. Back after this timeout. Lobo basketball from Learfield. Back inside Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit. New Mexico 87, Air Force 58 is your final. You're locked into the Lobo basketball post-game show. Our privilege now to welcome in Lobo head coach Paul Weir as the Lobos have won their third straight. Coach Weir, congratulations. Pretty comprehensive performance tonight. I'll ask this out of the gate. What did you like most about tonight's effort? Was it the defensive effort?
The first 20 minutes was probably our best defense of the season. I walked in at halftime and told them that we gave up 8 points on some dribble penetrations we shouldn't have given up, and those were ones that we knew as they happened they were just they were our mistakes on how we closed out with regards to our technique. And really, you take away that 8 points, and they were at 12 points for the half. So, it was a phenomenal 20 minutes. We had 25 deflections. I thought Dame was exceptional at that end of the floor. I thought our defense in the second half wasn't great. We only ended up with 15 deflections in the second half. Didn't really like our energy as much. Gave them a lot of offensive rebounds, which I thought gave them a little bit of confidence. But overall, we ended up scoring more in the second half. Ended up kind of even itself out. Not how I'd like it. First 4 minutes of the game was probably my favorite 4 minutes of the season. It was 2-0, and it was just a war, and we were just guarding, and we didn't care what was happening on offense. And we just have to find a way to continue to grow from that and learn from that going forward.
Yeah, it was. It was two tails. I mean, the first half of defense, because you guys really couldn't put the ball in the hole. I think you guys didn't score in the first maybe 4 or 5 minutes.
I don't know if we were a little nervous. First conference game, something. We were just a little lit on the hoop there. But I loved it because we were just going back and defending. We didn't care, and we just clawed and scratched and guarded, and it was awesome.
Yeah. Credit to you, Coach. I mean, you guys really took Air Force seriously coming in terms of your preparation. Didn't think they were the Air Force of the past.
Sure.
Typically, great shooters and great ball handlers, but you turned them over 11 times in the first half, and I think that would really, like you said, set the tone.
Yeah, I think in theory, and I've said this a few times, in theory, we're a great matchup. Like for us, this is the perfect team. The Evansvilles, the Air Force, the very methodical teams that like to slow it down and run a lot of sets and run their offense. We don't really let you do that, and Air Force wasn't backdooring us and doing all the stuff that they're really good at and popping out for threes. They were playing an up and down game, and we got them to play that way. It doesn't always work out that way, but it did tonight, and theoretically what we do is perfect for a team like this. So thankfully it was able to kind of go our way. We made some shots in the second half, which kind of made up for our defense kind of slipping a little bit.
Great that you pointed out how impressed you were with Dane Kuiper's defense tonight. He's in his third year as a Lobo. The 3 steals tonight. There was a lot more than just the 3 steals, but that's a new career high for him in his third season in New Mexico, and I think that's part and parcel to the defense that you preach and the style that you guys play.
Yeah, I like part and parcel there. That's good, Rob. But no, Dane, that was probably the best individual defensive game out of one of our players this year. I thought he was exceptional. Got beat late in the back door, which wasn't really on him. It was on the ball pressure, but he was incredible. I loved his defense. Whatever happens on offense, I know they care about. I know you guys care about, but that's what gets you on the floor.
Ja'Kai Simmons, I told Hunter this before the Lobos ever played a minute this year. I thought he was a perfect fit for the style of defense that you wanted to play.
Yep.
With his length and his athleticism. He created 3 baskets for himself with his own steals, 2 were dunks, then he ended up getting a 3-pointer. It just seems like he's an octopus out there.
Yeah, he is. He's always had kind of some conditioning issues. He's really skinny, and I don't know what it is with some skinny guys. They go south in a hurry.
A few more pit runs?
And we've talked about it all year, and somewhere around the 2, 3, 4 minute mark that he's in the game, he just goes south in a hurry. And there are times we just leave him out there too long, and that's when he does something really dumb or really whatever, and it's just straight fatigue. And we've really tried to do a good job of just getting him out early, getting him out quicker, and just keeping his more minutes. He might be just going in and out more, but just keeping him in shorter spurts. And his offensive game has really developed. His decision-making has improved. He's coming to stops. He's kicking the ball. He used to go in and just take wild junior college shots, and now he's learning. Even late in the game on the break, like he's able to pull it back out, kick to the next guy. He didn't do that at UTEP. He didn't do that against TCU. Like, he didn't do those things. He would go do something foolish and careless, and he's just kind of growing up offensively as a player, which is allowing him to kind of show himself defensively as well.
Yeah, Coach, we noticed that one time, he knocks down a 3, and the next time down the court, he kind of head faked like he was going to take it. And I go, whoa, he's feeling good. But he made the right decision. He pulled it out. And
even before that, he got one up the right side, and it was kind of like a 2-on, 3-on-1-ish, and it was like he brought it out and moved it. It was just very mature.
Yeah.
And he's grown up. He wouldn't have done that earlier in the year.
Coach, you guys shot the ball better in the second half. Why was that? I mean, I just noticed that there was a rhythm, and there were more of a transition plays.
Yeah, I think Air Force just maybe wore down. Like, I thought in the first half, they were geared up for us, man. We couldn't get an open look, Like, I thought the last 2 threes of the first half, I told them that at halftime, were the best 2 threes we had. We went inside out. Joe kicked out to Chris. He missed a wide open 3. And then Antono made a wide open 3 at the end of the half. And we said at halftime, those are the best 2 looks we had. And they just finished playing 19 and a half minutes of this. I think our looks are going to get better. You know what I mean? Yeah. And for the reality is, for 19 and a half minutes, they were in it, and they were on it, and they were guarding us, and they were challenging a lot of shots, and they weren't giving us anything easy. But I think as the game wore on, their defensive intensity just kind of wore down a little bit. And in the second half, we had wide open shots.
Yeah. And now I know you're more concerned about defense, not the offense. But looking at the scoring, 42 of your 87 points came from the 3 line.
Yep.
Does that concern you, or you just?
No, I mean, that's been us.
Yeah.
And the reality is, if we're going to ever beat someone we're not supposed to beat, like a Nevada, like a whoever, that's how it's going to go. Yeah. We're not going to go inside and score over all those guys and do all those things. You want to have balance, and we're searching for it. But the reality is, inside our 2-point field goal percentage, it isn't the greatest sometimes. We struggle finishing around the rim. And like layups, I mean, first play of the second half, we draw it up, boom, 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 dunk at the rim, and it gets blocked. So it's just, we have to shoot threes. That's our profile. We have to accept it, and we have to make shots.
Coach Ware, I wanted to ask you, it's the 3rd consecutive game now that Joe Furstinger has gotten a double-double. And we talked, actually, in our pregame, you said that he's finding an offensive rhythm. He's sort of getting comfortable with what he is as an offensive player. The size of these 3 teams that the Lobos have played while winning 3 in a row will not be, for example, what they'll see against Nevada coming up this weekend. But are there things that you've seen that can lead you to believe that Joe, at his size, can do some damage and continue this great play even on the offensive end?
Yeah, no, we watched a lot of clips, and we actually practiced this morning at shoot around. Air Force does a really good job boxing out. They're going to get a body on you. They're disciplined. They know who they are, and they get a body on you. And we were working on a different kind of rebounding as far as just wedging and getting position and then using your length. And Joe was just textbook at it today. He got on their hip. He rode him in. He got a hand in the air, and then he went and got a 50-50 ball. And because Joe is 6'9", and because he's got long arms, he can do that against these smaller teams. And Joe's not going to wow you with speed or wow you with above the rim stuff, but he's crafty and he's smart and he gets to the right positions, and then he's able to kind of use his length to go get a ball. And that's where Joe got it all tonight, man. It's 6 offensive rebounds. That's tremendous. And that was really where I thought a lot of it came from for Joe.
Yeah. And then balanced scoring. I mean, he was able to score the basketball. 6 guys in double-digit scoring.
Yeah, no, I thought we try and as much as we love the three, we want it to come inside out as much as possible, and I don't know how they're going to guard Sam. I don't know how they're going to guard Joe. Now, they did let them play a lot of one-on-one down there, and we have to do a better job of scoring down there. We got to be able to connect on some of those two-point shots, but for the most part, we don't want to just come down and jack up a three for no reason. If we're wide open and we have some very skilled shooters, then that's a good shot for us. But overall, as the offense goes, we want balance. We want sharing. I want everyone on this team to feel a part of this. I want everyone on this team to feel like we're a team. I don't want everyone going into game going, tonight's all going to be about Joe. Tonight's all
21 assists.
Yeah,
they're sharing it.
I like basketball that way.
Right.
And I know that's not everybody. I know that's not how some teams do it. I know that's not how some programs do it. But that's how I want to do it. Good. I just want to do team basketball, man. Offense and defense. Embrace that philosophy and just have some fun with it.
I wanted to ask you about the point guard play because you had mentioned that you thought that Chris McNeil had taken a little bit of a step back, but combined McNeil and Jackson, just 2 turnovers tonight, and Antono with the 9 assists, one off of his career high. I know Chris didn't shoot it well, but assess your point guard play.
Good. I wouldn't say great. I still thought they made some decisions there that have to get better. I mean, they just have to play a perfect game. That's the reality. We do not have a big margin for error. We don't have a ton of size. We don't have a ton of length. We don't have world class. We don't have a lot of things. So we're going to have to make shots. We're going to have to block out, and we're going to have tremendous point guard play. They're going to have to manage a game. It's getting better. There's no doubt about it. I think it's improving, but it's going to have to literally be perfect. We're going to be in a Mountain West Conference quarterfinal game, and they're going to have to manage the best game of their lives, and that's how we win.
I need to ask, we're now game 2 coming up in conference play, about to turn the calendar over to January. Have we gotten any closer to knowing what the future might hold for Connor McDougal?
We have not. As soon as I know, I promise I'll share it.
Very good. Very different challenge in Reno this weekend.
Yep. Starting on it right now. Just getting scouting reports. They're watching film as we speak. It's just on to the next game. I really haven't watched any of them. I don't even want to pretend to know how good or bad they are. We've played TCU. We've played Maryland. We've played Arizona. I have a hard time believing we're going to go in there and be shell-shocked. I mean, they're obviously a very good basketball team, and we have our work cut out for us, but we've had our work cut out for us in multiple games this season. Hopefully that's weathered us. Hopefully that's toughened us up, and we can go there and have some fun, man. This is what it's all about. Just playing our style, playing up and down, shooting some threes, turning people over, and seeing where it leaves us. And let's go do that on the road and have some fun.
Well, Coach Weir, it has been fun here. We looked at the schedule. Home games 3 in a row, a chance to get something going. You've done it 3 in a row now as you head off to Reno to take on Nevada, defending conference champion. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll see you in Reno.
That was good. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate it.
Lobo head coach Paul Weir, our coach's comments post-game here in Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit. All right, we pause for a final time on the post-game show. Lobos 87, Air Force 58. Final. Lobo basketball from Learfield. Back to close it out at Dreamstyle Arena, the Pit, on the Lobo basketball post-game show. New Mexico 87, Air Force 58 is your final. All right, it's time for us to select our P&M Reliable Player of the Game. And, Hunter, there were a lot of choices tonight. It came down to 2. Who'd you pick?
Firstinger. I thought he set the tone and got the ball inside. And, of course, with I think in the first half he had 4 or 5 offensive boards in the first half. So, I mean, I thought it was Firstinger. I mean, it could have been a number of guys. I mean, Dane Kuiper offensively got it going in the first half. So, but I thought Firstinger.
Well, you're right. It was 5 offensive rebounds in the first half. He was the tone setter. Your P&M Reliable Player of the Game tonight, the game changer for the Lobos, was Joe Firstinger. Anthony Jackson feeds Joe Firstinger for the 2-hand rip. A beautiful inbound play. Joe Firstinger on his way to a 3rd consecutive double-double. Firstinger tonight, 12 points, 12 rebounds, 6 offensive, 5 of 7 floor shooting, 2 of 3 at the foul line, had 3 assists, 2 blocks, and 1 steal, just 1 turnover in 26 minutes. Joe Firstinger is your P&M Reliable Player of the Game. P&M delivers reliable energy to you 24/7. We're committed community partners, and we're adding cleaner resources, including more solar and wind energy, and we're working to build a strong, sustainable energy future for New Mexico. Talk to us at pnm.com, where you can manage your account and learn how to save money on your electric bill. All right, I'm going to put you back on the spot, Hunter Green. There were some choices for the Subway sub of the game here tonight as well. What did you go with there?
I like Jackson just because, you know, distributed the ball. You got Ja'Kai Simmons. I mean, you had a number of guys. I mean, you had 6 guys in double-digit scoring. But I thought Jackson distributed the ball well. Again, he could have been the sub of the game and Subway player of the game, but
we'll call him the best off the bench tonight. Okay.
There were a lot of them. There were a lot of guys.
All right, so your Subway sub of the game tonight, brought to you by Subway Restaurants, is Antono Jackson. Antono Jackson is your Subway sub of the game. Congratulations to him. Subway Restaurants keep you going on and off the court. Stop in today. Subway, eat fresh. Antono Jackson tonight, he was terrific. 10 points. He was 4 of 5 floor, 2 of 3 from 3. He had 2 rebounds and 9 assists, 1 off his career-high 10 and 1 off his first career double-double. Just 1 turnover, 9-to-1 assist-to-turnover ratio in 25 minutes off the bench. Antono Jackson is your Subway sub of the game. A reminder, fans, the Albuquerque Downs Racetrack and Casino is your home for winning entertainment, including simulcast racing. As Hunter pointed out, the Lobos had 6 in double figures tonight. They were led by Ja'Kai Simmons, 15 points off the bench. He was a worthy choice as well for that Subway sub of the game. 6 of 7 from the field, 3 of 7 from three-point land, had 2 rebounds, 15 points, and Simmons a career-high equaling 3 steals. Dane Kuiper was amazing with 13 points, 3 of 5 from the arc, 4 of 7 field, 2 of 2 foul line, 4 rebounds, 3 steals to equal his career high, and no turnovers for Kuiper. Double figures for Anthony Mathis, 11 points, as he made 3 threes in 5 tries. Antono Jackson, we mentioned the 10 points and 9 assists. Sam Logwood, double figures with 10 points as well. He had 4 rebounds and didn't turn it over, but just the one time for Sam tonight. That's big. He's had some turnover trouble when he catches on the block. And then 10 points as well for Logwood and Jackson, the 11 for Anthony Mathis. Joe Furstinger had the 12 points with the 12 and 12 double-double tonight, his 3rd straight double-double. Simmons 15, Kuiper 13. Tremendous night for New Mexico, and as Hunter pointed out, maybe the difference in the end, in the second half, as they salted the game away, was a 10 of 16 from 3 in the second half. That was really impressive.
Yeah, I mean, and you just kind of wonder how come they could shoot. It's like night and day. The first half they struggled, and I think it was the rhythm and then transition. They were getting a lot of those jump shots in transition versus that half court. They still struggle in a half court, knocking down threes or even scoring the basketball sometimes.
Well, and the other thing that they did, though, and that helped with those threes in transition, was create the turnovers. The Lobos did it all night long, 11 forced in the first half, and then 17 forced for the game, and they scored 17 points off of those turnovers, as New Mexico's defense was every bit as good as advertised tonight.
Yeah, it was, and not that this was a strong Air Force team, but New Mexico was New Mexico. I mean, they, like Coach said, they were going to focus on themselves and play New Mexico basketball, and they did that.
Well, and they got out of transition a lot.
Yeah.
33 fast break points to Air Force's 19. And when you look at it, a lot of that damage came in the second half. 18 of those fast break points came in the second half for the Lobos as they turned up the heat defensively and got out in transition. Okay, that's going to wrap it up for us for tonight. Seth Summer, our producer, back in the studios of Learfield in Jefferson City. My broadcast partner is Hunter Green, the Lobo legend. I'm Robert Portnoy. Coming up, the Overtime Call-In Show as J.J. Buck will be at the controls for you on our flagship station, 770 KKOB, simulcast now at 94.5 FM here in Albuquerque Metro. Hunter, I'm excited to get on the road here in conference play for the first time, but they're going to be a tough customer. Those Nevada Wolfpack, the defending conference champs, look every bit as good again here in 2017-2018, and that's a tough first road test for a very new-look Lobo team.
I think the key word is new look. I mean, I think a lot of the teams throughout the Mountain West are going to be surprised as the New Mexico Lobos come in with a different style of play that's full court pressure and pushing the ball up the court. And it'll be interesting to see how those teams can adjust to the New Mexico new look.
Yes. One other career-high equaling total tonight, Firstinger's 12 boards. That matched his career best in his 3rd straight double-double tonight, 12 points and 12 rebounds. Okay, so the Lobos travel. They will play this coming Saturday on the road. New Mexico is at Nevada. That one tips off at 3 o'clock Mountain West time. Our airtime is 2:30 Mountain West time, 2:30 in the afternoon this coming Saturday. New Mexico at Nevada, 2:30 for the Bank of the West pregame show. Tip off at 3 o'clock across the 19th station Lobo Radio Network. That's going to wrap it up for us for tonight. From Dreamstyle Arena to the pit, your final score for the final time. The Lobos have won 3 straight. New Mexico is now 6-8 and 1-0 in conference play as they won their 7th straight Mountain West opener. The Lobos rout Air Force, lead by 16 at halftime, and roll. They led by as many as 31 and win going away. New Mexico 87, Air Force 58 is your final. So long, everybody, and Happy New Year. Hope you enjoyed your Christmas. This is Lobo Basketball from Learfield.